Jelski rounding out your field. Here we are. First green flag is in the air in 2019. Joe Butler's going to lead them down into turns 1 and 2. Here comes the 46 of Mr. Randy Bridges. Bridges staying in the middle of the racing service through turns 3 and 4. Howard Willis trying to peek to the inside of the 115C of Chris Adams. And Adams is going to hold on to that third place spot. We do stay clean and green through lap number 1. Here goes Howard Willis once again, trying to duck it down low and get the drive out of turn 2. Not going to happen this one. Drivers seem to be fighting setup just a little bit. Track seems to be a little tighter than what they were anticipating. Having to stop, reset the car, middle of the corner. Here comes Randy Bridges, my mistake. Randy Bridges all on his own, starting to reel in your leader a little bit, but there, the 23 of Howard Willis, side by side, wheel to wheel, touch and go on a turn 4, new third place spot. It's going to be Mr. Howard Willis. Cross flags halfway home, leader out front, Joe Butler in the 45J. Driving this Cadillac around our quarter-mile high banks at GTRP. He's got that set up right where he wanted it, and it is going to be pretty nice for him as he's got a full straightaway on the 46 of Randy Bridges from Manville, Texas. Howard Willis reeling in. Bridges. 2 laps to go. Next time by for your leader. Running out of laps is Howard Willis to make the pass to get into that second place spot. Bridges and Willis. This is going to heat up. Both guys running the same line, so it's going to be who's going to have the advantage off the corner to get the drive out of that left rear. White flag waving for the 45J of Mr. Joe Butler. Stays up there right on the cushion, starting to build up nice and big just after hot laps, and it's going to keep getting bigger throughout the night. Into turns 3 and 4, coming on out, ladies and gentlemen, checkered flag waving for the 45J and Mr. Joe Butler. Butler sets some loose on a turn 4, good start up front. Randy Bridges in the 46 to the outside. Mistake there by the 23 of Howard Willis. Something goes wrong, and he's going to park. All right, here we are. Joe Butler going to try to set it back. Complete restart. No laps complete. Double file to the back is going to be Howard Willis. Calls for the caution. Earl Sajelski in the third place spot in the 420. Sajelski almost gets into Bridges, and that's going to help out Howard Willis after Sajelski gets onto the brakes. Willis peeking to the inside of the 420. Door to door. Sajelski and Willis. Willis staying to the bottom, 420, working high. Randy Bridges in the 46. Now with his hands full for Howard Willis in the 23. Willis leaks to the inside, down the front stretch. That's right. Willis with a good entrance and gets a spot from the 46 of Bridges. Bridges now dealing with Sajelski in the 420. But just briefly, Sajelski drops back about a length or 2 on the exit of turn 2. Up front, Joe Butler. Staying smooth around the middle of the racing surface. Here comes Howard Willis, hanging it out high, side, and handsome. The man, the myth, and the legend. Changes his line to battle for the race lead. Tries something different, goes to the top, cuts the corner. Cross flags halfway home. Joe Butler knows what Willis is doing. Butler makes a mistake. Tries the top of the track, but it doesn't work for him. And now your new race leader, the 23 of Howard Willis. Can he hold on? Yes, he does. He holds the spot. And now Joe Butler on the chase in the 45J. Willis out front. He's got those 41 shocks just a digging, planting that car and giving him that forward drive. White flag waving for Howard Willis. One more lap and 4 more turns. Out of turn 4, folks. Put it on together for Mr. Howard Willis. The 6th pole sitter, Christopher Townsend, with Jayton Brown to his right. Front row is going nice and slow, waiting for that green flag to drop at the flag stand. And here we go. Green flag racing, restrictor sprint style. Cameron Cook in the 30K stays at the bottom. And we're going to hold our breath through the first lap, and we are going to stay clean and green. Christopher Townsend out front with Jayton Brown on the chase. And the 9D from New Caney, Texas. Excuse me, my mistake. 9D from Alvin, Texas. Oh, slowing down on the backstretch. We'll see how that's going to shake out there. And the 9D is going to enter the infield. Something wrong with that machine there. So that's going to put the 7R of Riley Yates from Mont Bellevue into that 3rd place spot. And out front, caution flag comes out on the front stretch. Townsend's going to make us wait all the way to the exit, all the way to the straightaway. And Townsend right back to that same line that he was at. Jayton Brown within a few links of Mr. Townsend going into turns 3 and 4 as we are cross flags halfway home. Townsend's had a lot of success in this restrictor sprint class. It's going to be pretty fun to watch him move up and progress through the ranks within this Lone Star 600 series. Jayton Brown as well. You can see both drivers have very similar driving style. But it comes down to being one thing, smooth. You can kind of watch the entrance of Jayton Brown. It looks to be a little, I guess you could say, abrupt on the entrance. But you know what? All that comes from seat time and getting a little bit smoother time after time with 2 laps to go. And Christopher Townsend is right there, and we're going to get that car pushed in a little bit more to keep that dreaded yellow flag away. And that is a 30 of Cameron Cook, who went out in turns 3 and 4. Checkered flag waving for Mr. Christopher Townsend for the first Align Pro POWRi Lone Star 600 restrictor heat race. Hold our breath on the lineup. It is going to be a good one. Tight wheel to wheel are your leaders going down into turns 1 and 2. Chris Townsend to the outside. And Haley Taylor right around the bottom. And we've got one turned around in 1 and 2 to bring out our first caution. Taylor with a slow pace and the exit. Townsend gets another shot at the first corner and makes the most of it. Jayton Brown makes a quick jump to get into that second place spot from 3rd row inside. 1 around in turns 1 and 2. Yet again, 2 around as we try to dodge the other. Caution comes out. Single file restart. Townsend, Brown, and Taylor. 1, 2, 3. Jayden Brown trying to reel in the fast Chris Townsend. 2 around again in turns 1 and 2. Holding it all the way to the corner. Here comes the 27Y of Stephen Yates making a move from the back. Riley Yates is the next in the crosshairs for Stephen. Stephen with a good run down the backstretch out of turn number 2. Good quick corner there for the 7 of Riley Yates, but not quick enough. Stephen Yates piece to the inside of Riley through turns 1 and 2. Stephen gets that 4th place spot. Riley Yates trying to reel Stephen back in. Doesn't look to be working for him right there. Misses the corner way high. Down the backstretch we go, Chris Townsend. Staying nice and smooth, trying to hold off the fast Jayden Brown. Richmond native, reeling in your leader. Townsend not straying from the middle of the racing surface. Jayden Brown staying about a half a lane lower. And that one's going to work out for him in turns 1 and 2. 2 laps to go for your race leader, Chris Townsend. Lap traffic may come into play. We've got Cameron Cook, Riley Yates, and Kinsley Cook here right now as a white flag waves. Opportunity is going to be afoot for the 11 of Jayden Brown. Townsend works quick to the inside of Kinsley Cook. Jayden Brown hung up behind lap traffic on a turn 4. Holding on, the number 6 of Mr. Chris Townsend. Up first, the 76, Mr. Daniel King. He had that pole position, so he gets to be the first one out here on the track. He's going to work the lower to the middle line of the racing surface, gets real crossways. Going to try to recover here with a white flag. One more shot to see what he can do. That one there was a 15.039. 15.039. Second one coming in was a 14.528. So he gathered it back up, shaved off a few seconds. Up next in the number 3, Miss Teresa Waller.
After she goes under it though, right? Because that's her lap.
Yeah. Try to, yes, that would be right. So closest as you can get to the flag.
Picking her up? See, that's not right. It's not 1.44 count. There's her lap, right? It's not working. It just kept going.
Moves up to get the higher line of the racing surface.
Just remember 1.44.
And she's going to do the same thing, put it right there on the cushion, hard on a turn 4, ladies and gentlemen, Teresa Waller. Now on the track from Cypress, Texas, the 99, Mr. Matt Miggle. Matt's first night out here in the 305 in 2019. He's got a good new look on that car. Good bride number. White flag, let's see what he can do. He's going to push up just a little bit on the exit of turn 4.
All right, so far we got 14.383.
Out of Silsbee, Texas, the number 10, Blake Cunningham. Cunningham's going to take that same line right around the middle. Gathers it back up. One more lap. Let's get a strong finish here for Mr. Blake Cunningham. Michael Oliver from San Antonio, the 1-0. Low in, high out, white flag waving. One more shot to gather it up, put it together out of the gas. And we're going to coast this one on down. Fort Worth, Texas native, 4B, Austin Burkham. Good smooth lap, first way around, hits the cushion on the way off. And there he is, 4B, Austin Burkham. Trey Schmidt on the track right now. First lap there, 14.487. Not enough for the top spot. He gets one lap. Figure out the racing surface. The second lap's going to be the one to make it happen. Here he is on a turn 4 with a 14.345. And with that, folks, we have ourselves a new quick time. Driver in the 24 from Vidor, Texas, Mr. Tyler Harris. Last week, Harris came from 16th to 3rd at Thunder Valley Speedway after breaking in the heat race, got her put back together again, worked his way up, and he's going to see what he can do here this weekend in his own backyard at Golden Triangle Raceway Park as a white flag waves. First lap was a 14.14 with a new quick time. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Harris. And his second lap even faster with a 13.85. That's right, 13.85. Tyler Harris claims the new top spot. On the track now in the 14, Mr. Bo Smith. Clean looking car, first time out here at GTRP. Got to chat with him a little bit last night during the test and tune. Looking good up there on the cushion, white flag waving. First win post is going to be a 14.1.
Bo Smith.
And second lap is going to be his quick lap at 13.994. 13.994, second spot on the lineups right now for Mr. Bo Smith. And the number 7, Rod Craddock, second place last weekend at Thunder Valley Speedway in Glen Mora, Texas. Consistency is going to be key. He had a good smooth lap. Shake the back end out on the exit of turn 4. First lap was a 14.365. I can't read. 14.365 first lap. Second lap looks a little faster, getting it to the stripe with a 14.160. That's going to put him in his third fastest spot. Vidor, Texas, Jacob Harris in the 26. Out of turn 4, Jacob's first lap is going to put him at a 14.218. Excuse me, 14.218 for his first lap. Second lap, dives it good and smooth into turns 3 and 4. Out of the exit,
Jacob Harris.
he's going to get a 14.218 at the moment. That puts him for the 4th fastest. The track, the 22L, Mr. Kent Lewis Sr., 70 years old, got the feature win last Saturday night at Thunder Valley Speedway. He's trying to carry that momentum here into GTRP for the Spring Havoc. White flag coming out. First one was a 14.977. Good exit off of turn 4. It's going to finish with a 14.574. All the way from Madisonville, Texas, in the number 4 is St. Jude's Children's Hospital, Mr. Caleb Paget. Paget's first lap is going to be a 14.913. This is his first year in a 305 sprint car. Last year he ran the 600 micro sprints with the Lone Star 600 series. Coming out to the checkered flag, he's going to finish with a 14.581. Texas, Mr. Kent Lewis Jr. That power plant got put together last minute yesterday. And he's going to see how it's going to work for him here tonight for the night 1 of the Spring Havoc at Golden Triangle Raceway Park. First lap's going to give him a 15.782. Final lap, 15.683 from Nederland, Texas, Mr. Chris Henson. First lap for him, 15.073 for Chris Henson, and he's going to back her down on the backstretch and leave it at that. Baytown, Texas native in the 15, Mr. Danny Burke. Middle entrance, exits high off of turns 1 and 2. Good smooth entrance into 3 and 4. He's going to carry it out of the corner. Here we are, white flag. First lap for him, a 14.775. Puts him right now in 11th. And he's going to finish it with a 14.583. Good looking car. Bright colors, easy to spot. That's an announcer's and a scorer's favorite in the 82C. Yeah. Out of the Dallas area from Kinnison, so the name kind of works with the town. First lap. It's going to clock it on in here with a 14.792. Sets him in at 13th for the first one and ends it with a 14.705. Buford with a good smooth corner for the hot lap. Here we are, first green lap underway. First one down, 14.574. Second and final lap, 14.946. On the front row are the Flying Fish Tanks, Jacob and Tyler Harris. Tyler Harris with the pole. The green is up. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Green flag racing at the Spring Havoc at Golden Triangle Raceway Park. Side by side, Tyler and Jacob Harris up front. Jacob working the top line of the cushion. Tyler staying down the bottom. Jacob Harris with a pass on a turn 4. Tyler gets it a little sideways, stays in the gas, gets it going again. We do stay clean and green. Tyler's now going to have some work to do. He's got the 1-0 of Michael Oliver from San Antonio in the back with him. Wakes quick work. He gets past the 15 machine of Danny Burke as well. Matt Miggle in the number 99 and Kent Lewis Sr. in the second, third place spot. Tyler Harris to the bottom of turns 3 and 4. Now side by side, wheel to wheel with Kent Lewis Sr. down into turns 1 and 2. Tyler Harris works his way all the way back to the second place spot after dropping to dead last from spinning out in turns 1 and 2. Cross flags halfway home, and this one out front into turn number 4. With about a half a track on. Second is the 26 of Jacob Harrison. We've got him turning around in turns 1 and 2. Kent Lewis Sr. and Matt Miggle. Jacob Harris sets them loose right on the exit. Jacob goes back to the cushion. And here comes a 24 of Tyler Harris. Local boys here from Vidor, Texas, knowing their way around the quarter-mile high banks at Golden Triangle Raceway Park. Last weekend, they were dubbed the Flying Fish Tanks by Steve Cape, the announcer at Thunder Valley in Glenmore, Louisiana. And they are flying here tonight. And the 24 got our quick time during the qualifying. And now out front, taking the white flag, is Mr. Jacob Harris. That Harris muffler and brake, Marsh Waterproofing, Southeast Texas Aquarium Specialist 26, making quick work of that cushion, letting the right rear eat, and out of turn 4, put it on together for Mr. Jacob Harris. Here we go, green flag racing. Trey Schmidt goes way sideways, and the rest of the field works their way around, and Schmidt's going to stall it out in 1 and 2. All right, here we go. Green flag racing once again. Working their way down into turns 1 and 2. Bo Smith stretching the legs. And Blake Cunningham in the number 10 trying to chase him down. Teresa Waller in the 35 of Chris Henson. Henson goes around, stays under power to keep that green flag out. Waller to the bottom around. Here we are, turn 4. Trey Schmidt, the number 12, trying to get something going. Mistakes there again to the 35 of Henson. Schmidt doing what he can to try to get around Teresa Waller here, wheel to wheel out of turn number 4. Down the front stretch, it's going to be Trey Schmidt with the advantage down into turns 1 and 2 around Teresa Waller. Cross flags halfway home for your racer to the 14 of Bo Schmidt. Trey Schmidt trying to reel in the 10 of Cunningham. Cunningham glowing the brakes going into turn 3. White flag waving for your race leader, the 14 of Mr. Bo Smith. Your pole sitter gonna go flag to flag here in this one. Out of turn 4, number 14, Bo Smith. Very slow pace set here in this one, waiting for the flagman to give him the sign, and here we are. Paget and Burkham go way high in turns 1 and 2. Opening the door for Daniel King right around the bottom, and no contest right now for Rod Craddock. Daniel King around in turns 1 and 2, and Kinnison lays it down softly on the side. Daniel King called for the cautions. He was going to rewind, go to the back, and Rod Craddock is going to lead him down into turns 1 and 2. Paget trying to squeak it in there on the bottom. Paget getting into it with Austin Burkham in the 4B. Burkham going around on his own atop of turn 3 and 4. Caution comes out. 4. Trying to jump from the second row, but they're going to hold back and wait for the green to drop. And there goes 4 wide into 1 and 2. And that is Caleb Paget in the number 4. Daniel King in the 76 gets on by, and here comes Kinnison in the 82 trying to knock on the door for third place. On the first initial start, Kinnison laid it over on his side. They flipped it back over, said, nope, I'm going to go green flag racing. So now here we are, hammer down, ladies and gentlemen. Kinnison trying to reel in third place, but speaking of reeling in, back up front, Daniel King trying to get a hold of Rod Craddock in turns 3 and 4. Daniel King to the bottom of the racing surface, following right after Rod Craddock. One stopped in turns 3 and 4, and that is the 4B of Austin Burkham. Rod Craddock sets him loose in the middle of 3 and 4. We are back underway. Daniel King in the 76 going to take this opportunity to reel in the 7 of Rod Craddock. Craddock had a great second place run last weekend at Thunder Valley Speedway in Glenmore, Louisiana, as we are cross flags halfway home. Kinnison moving up in the racing groove, goes to the cushion in turns 1 and 2. Tries it again here in 3 and 4. May he get the momentum right here on the exit to get something going for the 4 of Caleb Paget? We will see. He's starting to cut into some of that real estate. Paget working the middle to the bottom of the racing surface, off the edge, and around goes the 4B in turns 1 and 2. He keeps it under power, and we do stay clean and green. Rod Craddock still staying right there on the bottom. Kinnison now here is on the back bumper, the 4 of Caleb Paget. Kinnison has a mistake on the entrance of turns 1 and 2. White flag waving for Rod Craddock this time by. Craddock with 3/4 of a straightaway on Daniel King in second. Here he is, Craddock on a 4. Checkered flag, Rod Craddock. This one's slow pace set by Jacob Harris in the 26. And the 14 of Bo Smith with a big, wild jump start. And we're going to let that one sit. Jacob Harris, Bo Smith, Rod Craddock, your top 3. Here comes Daniel King and Tyler Harris. Tyler Harris and Daniel King side by side in turns 3 and 4. Harris with a spot in the advantage out of turn 4. Harris with a mistake at the top. King gets back by. Here comes the 10 of Cunningham, dealing with the 24 of Tyler Harris. Harris looking to the inside of Daniel King once again in turns 1 and 2, blows way past for that 4th place spot. Daniel King found success with his line, gonna try to go back to it and reel in the 24 of Harris. Doesn't look to happen for him right there. Rod Craddock, second place finisher last Saturday up at Thunder Valley Speedway, and Craddock sitting 3rd right here in the dash. And we're going to set the starting 8 for tomorrow's A main for the Spring Havoc at Golden Triangle Raceway Park. Bo Bo Smith. First time out here at GTRP in quite some time, and he is looking very smooth right there around the bottom. Running second in the dash right now with 2 laps to go. Bo Smith trying to do what he can to try to chop down into that real estate between he and your leader, Jacob Harris. Out of turn 4, taking the white flag, Jacob Harris in that number 26. In turn 3, ladies and gentlemen, and coming out of turn 4, put it on together for the 26 of Mr. Jacob Harris. And there we are, side by side. We get a pretty good start here in this one. Bo Chapman looking to the outside of Finn McDade, turns 1 and 2. Not going to happen for him there. On the chase right now, Dalton Moss, the D-man in the number 84. Mistake by McDade opens the door for Chapman. So Chapman and Moss get by. And I got to talk about that little 84 real quick. I tell you, Dalton went up to Tulsa for the Tulsa shootout to race with the juniors and was doing quite well, but had an issue with some equipment, had to make him run qualifiers, and he was only 4 cars out of the A main. His first time, and Chapman leads him out of turn 4. Chapman like a rocket going into turns 1 and 2. Cars hooked up, carrying good momentum through the corners. Bo Chapman out front and already stretching that distance to where it was moments ago before the yellow. Dalton Moss finding the gas pedal, trying to reel him in as we are cross flags halfway home for your junior sprint heat race for the Align Pro PowerEye Lone Star 600 Mini Sprint Series, presented by No Limits Graphics. Out of turn 4, 2 laps to go for Mr. Bo Chapman. He's pretty expressive. If you read his wing there, when it comes to sponsors, thanks Mom and Dad. And the red flag waves on Mr. Chapman with 1 more lap to go here for the junior sprint heat race. Works his way down the backstretch. Stay into the middle and the top. It turns 3 and 4 at the stripe. The 19, Bo. Here we are, junior sprint A main on the track. Bo Chapman is going to set the pace from Friendswood, Texas. Dalton Moss to his outside. Green flag is up, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, green flag racing.
They're so cute.
Bo Chapman stretches out to an early lead. Dalton Moss trying to run that same line like the old airplane on a string method. Just get that momentum built up. And Dalton Moss looks to be gaining a little ground on Mr. Bo Chapman. Cross flags right now. Dalton Moss reeling in Mr. Bo Chapman. Dalton D-Man Moss within striking distance of Bo Chapman. Dalton went and ran up at the Tulsa shootout in January. And he's trying to take a little bit of what he learned about being smooth and finding a line and add it to his repertoire of knowledge. And now here it is, Dalton Moss, your new race leader. Lap traffic comes into play. Now Dalton's got to hold on to this one. Another lap car. Can he work his way around? Dalton's going to get hung to the bottom, opening the door for Bo Chapman. Chapman takes the higher line around the racing service 29. That's going to be Cameron Spake. Two laps to go in your junior sprint A main. Dalton Moss going to have to find that groove that he had earlier to reel in and pass Bo Chapman with only 2 laps to go and now only 1 lap. We are in turns 3 and 4, taking the white flag now at the front stretch. 1 more lap and 4 more turns for Mr. Bo Chapman. Chapman makes a mistake in turns 1 and 2. Here he is down the backstretch. Dalton Moss looking at a potential feature win. He's got to stay good and smooth in turns 3 and 4. He's going to work the bottom. And here it is off the exit at the line. That one's going to be close.
Got it, right? I got it.
At the line, we're checking with the scores. Dalton Moss picking up the A main. We're going to go nice and slow. Out of turn 4. Quick move up front, getting to the cushion, the 57 of Mr. Jacob Lucas. Lucas, Harbert, and Aguilera, 1, 2, 3. Here comes good side-by-side racing here for the 4th spot. He sets it up to cross underneath, and they're going to touch Wyatt Wilkerson sideways in 4. Jacob Lucas is going to set him loose in turns 3 and 4. Here we are. The green flag is up, and the throttle is down. It is showtime once again. Align Pro POWRi Lone Star 600 Mini Sprint Series K&K Earthworks Heat Race 1 on the track right now. 34 entries on the books here for tonight's show. Mike Stanfield in the 64 was a little touch and go on a turn 4, but we got one around. Laps down. Lucas leads him out of turn 4 and has a great run down into 1 and 2 and stretches that lead right back out with Robert Harbert in the 17 on the chase. Maverick Elkins trying to work around Mike Stanfield. Elkins looking at the bottom. Stanfield staying where he's at. Cross flags halfway home. And now Elkins is going to have his hands full with Aguilera. Aguilera trying to work up there on the cushion. Can't get that right rear planted. Second through 5th, all running pretty much the same line. Big move trying to set up there. Was going to be Elkins. Elkins goes up high to the cushion. Crossover on a turn 4. Can't get enough momentum to get past Stanfield with 2 laps to go. Elkins has the right idea. He knows what it's going to take. That's going to be a great line to get it done. He's just got to make it work for him as the white flag waves on Jacob Lucas. Side by side, Elkins reeling in Stanfield, going in for the slider in 1 and 2. He's going to slide it a little too far. Back underneath comes Stanfield, a little rub there, and they cleared back out. Tries the slider again. Checkered flag waves for Jacob Lucas. Good slow pace set by Mr. Mike Walling. And we are green. Walling and McDade lead them down into turns 1 and 2. Here comes the 17G of Isaiah Garcia from the top. And a good run right there. We're going to hold our breath to make sure we can get one lap in. We do stay clean and green. Joey Getz in the number 5 had a great run off the top. He's going to get another one right here on a turn 2. Wheel to wheel down the backstretch. Picking up another spot. Sets it in low. And turns 3 and 4. Lets the car move up in front of the other one. He's going to block that line with Matt McDade now in his sights. Joey Getz is one to watch, ladies and gentlemen, in the 5X. Started outside row 3 in the 6th place spot. Moved up very quickly here into 3rd. Got to track down the always fast Isaiah Garcia, but ahead of him, the man who's usually always faster right now when he's consistent, the 29W, Mr. Mike Walling. And around goes Isaiah Garcia. He gets back going. We'll see how this one is going to get called. And 4, and yes, he does. We are back underway. Isaiah Garcia dives to the bottom in turns 1 and 2. And off the top goes the 29 of Mike Walling. Joey Getz trying to work his momentum back up. Battle for the 3rd place spot as we are cross flags halfway home. Battling at it with Wyatt Bruce and the 18W from Montgomery. And Getz gets past him in turns 1 and 2. Bruce going to be looking to get that spot back. Two laps to go, staying calm, cool, and collected out front is your leader, Mr. Mike Walling in the 29W. Walling with a white flag and one more lap and 4 more turns ahead of him to pick up the 2nd heat race win in the night. He's going to stay to the top, hanging it out, high side and handsome. Mike Walling at the stripe, picking up heat race number 2. Here we are, green flag, good start. Jump into the cushion right out of the gate with a side-by-side, wheel-to-wheel battle down the backstretch. One V making big moves. Mr. Johnny Bolin from Fort Worth getting around Clark Warren. Bolin started inside row 3 and was not going to wait any longer to get up front. Gets there in 1 lap. Battle for that 2nd place spot. Mr. Carson Batterby and the 38 looks to the inside of Clark Warren in 1 and 2. Not going to happen for him there. Going to try to set it back up right here in turns 3 and 4. Both drivers running that high line on the cushion. Carson Batterby on the heels of Clark Warren looks to set it up. Here we are into turns 3 and 4. Not going to happen. Only gets side by side. Can't pull the slide job off with halfway home. Carter looking to set it up again. Has a good run in turns 1 and 2. The one to watch right here, folks. Carson Batterby side by side with Clark Warren. And there's the slider in 1 and 2 and a crossover by Clark Warren. Warren gets the spot back. 2 laps to go for your race leader out front, 1V. Mr. Johnny Bolin, who got there in a lap from 3rd row inside, but the battle to watch is between Clark Warren and Mr. Carson Batterby. Batterby sets up the slide job in turns 3 and 4. White flag waves for Bolin out front. Side by side, Batterby and Clark Warren once again. Clark Warren from Bastrop, Texas in the second place spot. Looks to have enough room to hold on to it. Checkered flag waving on Johnny Bolin from Fort Worth, Texas. And the Bumblebees will build the sound as we scream down the front stretch. Down into turns 1 and 2. Townsend up to the top and around that cushion he goes, slingshotting down the backstretch. Clean and green through lap number 1. Colton Corbin in that third place spot, having a little bit of a battle, shall we say, with fourth, but gets it under control. And we've got one biking down the backstretch. It's on a turn 4, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. And we got one tapping the wall. That was Colton Corbin in the 29th seat down the backstretch. Raleigh Shepard and Christopher Townsend battling for the race lead. Here comes Raleigh Shepard with a good run off of turn number 2 to reel in Townsend. Colton Corbin makes his way into that second, third place spot right now. Battle. Here we are, Caleb Martin in the 51, putting it up top. Colton Corbin working on moving up in the group right here. Cross flags this way home right now for Christopher Townsend. Raleigh Shepard trying to get a little bit of a run off of turn 4 to make something happen. Right now, Townsend has this one locked in. Raleigh Shepard with a run, wheel to wheel off of turn 4. 2 laps to go. Raleigh Shepard sets it down into turns 3 and 4. And Townsend with a run through the corner on the cushion. Can't pull off the slider. Raleigh Shepard going to try to reel him back in right now as the white flag waves for Mr. Chris Townsend. Shepard with a good lap in turns 1 and 2. Has a mistake on the backstretch. Going to come down here to 3 and 4. Out of turn 4, folks. Put it on together for Mr. Chris Townsend. Is your front row. Ferguson tries to block the top line, but Grovenhold makes it work and gets around. Dunlap and Perlmutter, good battle mistake by Bass Ferguson. Tanner Dunlap in the 41T with a good move in turns 3 and 4 to get around Ferguson. Ferguson looking to the inside of Dunlap. Once again, a mistake by Dunlap. Can Ferguson capitalize? No, he cannot. But the man who is going to capitalize on this battle is the 42 of Preston Perlmutter. Perlmutter coming all the way from the 210 in San Antonio, Texas. Cross flags halfway home right now in this one. Ferguson trying to hold on, but here comes Perlmutter. Ferguson gets it gathered back up and down the backstretch, wheel to wheel. Perlmutter and Ferguson. Two laps to go for your race leader out front. Nick Grovenhold battle, though. Heating up here for the third place spot. Perlmutter sets the slider on the entrance. Can he hold it? Bass Ferguson drives back, wheel to wheel. But the spot in momentum is going to go to the 42 of Perlmutter, and mistakes. Something wrong out front. And that's going to bring out a caution. Grovenhold going to set the pace in turns 3 and 4 and set them loose on the exit as we are back underway. In that second place spot, Preston Perlmutter in the 42 has been working his way up. Perlmutter started dead last outside row 2. Outside row 3 in that 6th place spot. And now has his eyes set on the top spot. He's going to hang it up there on the cushion, get the run off of 2 down the backstretch. Into 3 and 4. Can Grovenhold hold on the bottom? And yes, he can. Nick Grovenhold picks up heat race 5. Ladies and gentlemen, the hammer is down. It's showtime. Lundy's going to lead him down into turns 1 and 2. David Weibel looking for the inside line, decides to hit the brakes and sit tight in the 3rd place spot right here. Oscar Aguilera working around the outside of Mr. Weibel, but that's not going to work for him. Aguilera makes a mistake in 1 and 2. He loses a little ground, and now back to the top. To the front is Aguilera and Jarrett Yorth. Good battle here between these guys for the 3rd place spot. Yorth with a good run out of turn number 2 down the backstretch. Matt McDade in the 71M working to reel him in. Mistakes by Lundy. Weibel starting to reel him in, but now Weibel makes a mistake on the exit. Just as Weibel was catching the leader. Aguilera and Yorth, mistake again by Weibel. Yorth goes to the inside of Aguilera. Mistake by Yorth. Aguilera to the outside of Weibel. Can he hold it? Advantage goes back to Weibel. Wheel to wheel down the front stretch into turns 1 and 2. Weibel right there around the bottom, working the middle of the racing surface is Mr. Oscar Aguilera. Aguilera with a spot in the advantage down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4 as we've got one turned around in turns 1 and 2. Leader, we're going to start him out of turn 4. Wilkerson and McDade getting together on the start. Wilkerson did not start this race as he will be 2-3 laps down. I'll double check that, but he did not take the initial green. A run here on the exit of turn 4, and we've got one around in turns 3 and 4, but he's going to keep it going under power. One around, and Wilkerson's going to clip him on the exit of 2, and we got one stopped on the backstretch. Yeah, here we go. Here comes Jarrett Yorth and Oscar Aguilera. Yorth to the inside, and on the exit holds a spot. Jarrett Yorth, your new race leader, with Patrick Lundy on the chase. Good battle shaping up here in the 3rd place spot. Aguilera and Matt McDade. McDade in the 71M in the 4th place spot, trying to reel in Aguilera. We got one around in turns 1 and 2, and that's going to bring out our caution once again. Very slow pace, waiting all the way to the exits. Jarrett Yorth gets on the gas and leads them down into turns 1 and 2. Top 4 drivers working the bottom of the racing surface. Around goes the 24 of Gillow. Way out of turn 4. We're green flag racing. Patrick Lundy going to try to reel him back in, but on the chase, Mr. Oscar Aguilera in the 5. Oscar Aguilera reeling in. Patrick Lundy in turns 3 and 4, working the bottom of the racing surface. Patrick Lundy staying to the bottom. Oscar Aguilera to the inside, and the advantage in the spot. Mr. Oscar Aguilera and gives it up on the exit of turn 4. Here we are, 2 laps to go for your race leader, Jarrett Yorth. Battle for that second place spot. Oscar Aguilera, the number 5, with the 10 of Patrick Lundy. Lundy was our original pole sitter here in this one. And he's going to try to pass Aguilera back. White flag waving for the 58 of Jarrett Yorth. Yorth started outside row 2, got up front quick and did not look back, and now stretching a little bit of real estate between he and third place is Mr. Oscar Aguilera. Into turn 3 and out of 4, ladies and gentlemen, put it on together for the 58H of Jarrett Yorth. We are green flag racing. Dunlap looking for a way around here into turns 1 and 2. Dunlap goes high, side by side, back up front. We are with a good battle for the lead right now. 3-car battle for the lead within the first lap. Holding on to that lead is Wyatt Bruce, the pole sitter of the 18W. A little bump there going into turns 3 and 4. Maverick Elkins trying to rattle the cage a little bit, and we got one around in turns 1 and 2 to bring out caution. It's around single file restart here for the second B main of the Align Pro POWRi Lone Star 600s. And we are back underway. Wyatt Bruce leads them down into turns 1 and 2, and here comes Maverick Elkins through the bottom of 1 and 2. New race leader Maverick Elkins going to lead him down into turns 3 and 4, checking the brakes. In the third place spot, touching wheels, Maverick Elkins and Mr. Wyatt Bruce wheel to wheel down the front stretch. Elkins gets the advantage in spot going down into turns 1 and 2. Great battle for the lead, and whoa! And that's going to stack them up. Maverick Elkins sets them loose on the exit of turn 4. Green flag racing once again. Jayton Brown in the 11 in the second place spot opens the door wide. And now he's going to try to get that spot back here going into turns 3 and 4. Quick on the bottom in that second place spot. Number 41, Mr. Tanner Dunlap. Excuse me, that is Chuck Dunlap in the white. 41 in the second place spot, Chuck Dunlap. Reeling in your leader on the bottom. Maverick Elkins is going to have to hold on to this one because Dunlap is charging hard. Dunlap gets back in the gas, cross flags halfway home. Suspension and setup working good for him. Mistake there by the 11 of Jayton Brown. Looks the wrong direction. We will get to them. The lights are out. We're getting ready to go. Green flag racing. Align Pro POWRi Lone Star 600 A main is hammered down. Johnny Boland trying the cushion right out of the gate, staying on the bottom so far. Here is Jacob Lucas, Isaiah Garcia sliding in front of the 51 of Caleb Martin. Three-way battle for that third place spot. Nick Grovenhold, Caleb Martin, Isaiah Garcia. Third spot's going to go to the 51 of Caleb Martin down on the bottom. Here comes Nick Grovenhold in the 87, hits the brakes. Caleb Martin sliding in front of the 1V of Getz. Excuse me, 1V of Boland. My mistake there. One around in a flip. Going into turn 1, had one spin it sideways, wheels caught the dirt, and around he went. Single file restart. Here we are back underway. Trying the cushion, Mr. Johnny Bolin. Staying to the bottom, tried and true. Jacob Lucas. Here comes Caleb Martin running the bottom as well. Martin reeling in Johnny Bolin. Side by side is Martin and Bolin down the backstretch for just a split second. Mistakes by Boland and Martin on the front stretch. Could have got dicey. Caleb Martin takes the second place spot and slowing down a little bit. In that groove is the 1V of Johnny Boland. So now Preston Perlmutter in the 42. Working the bottom as well. Gets to the inside of Boland. Boland not giving up that top line of the racing surface. Good battle right now down the front stretch. Bash Ferguson having his hands full. Whoa, we got him touching and going around. And one over on the lid. Here we are, lights around, green is in the air. We are back underway. Caleb Martin trying to reel in Jacob Lucas. Isaiah Garcia makes a move up a couple of spots right here after the restart into the 6th place spot. Colton Corbin trying to reel in the 17G of Isaiah Garcia. Garcia staying right on the bottom, as is Corbin. Crossed flags halfway home. Caleb Martin, your new race leader. Jacob Lucas trying to find his way around on the back bumper of Martin. I missed the lead change. We got a one flipped on the front stretch.
Red, one straight away.
Here we go. Colton Corbin, Chuck Dunlap, and Dunlap is going to bring out that caution. Mr. Jacob Lucas in the 57, and away we go. Caleb Martin in that 2nd place spot had the lead for a brief moment. Caution came out. Last completed lap put Jacob Lucas back at the helm of this one. Johnny Boland in the 1V sitting in that 3rd place spot. Had a great run going for a while, started to fall back just a touch, allowed Caleb Martin to get on by, and now starting to come on a little bit more late in this one, but here comes the 42 of Preston Perlmutter. Perlmutter in that 42P, gaining a little bit of ground on the 1V of Mr. Johnny Boland. Speaking of gaining ground, here comes Caleb Martin in the 51. With a good run off the exit of turn 4. Top 3 cars, good battle up front. Caleb Martin looking down low to the bottom along with the 57 of Jacob Lucas, the 1V of Johnny Boland from none other place than Fort Worth, Texas. Made the long drive here, this one. Stretching it back out, though, is the 57 of Jacob Lucas, as he's now coming up on the 08 of Mr. Cokes. Cokes stays high. Isaiah Garcia and Colton Corbin trying to get themselves a battle going here, working in this top 5 on the edge, looking out. 2 laps to go for your race leader, Mr. Jacob Lucas. Johnny Bolin starting to reel in Caleb Martin, but makes a mistake, drops all that ground, and now has to get back to work as the white flag waves. Lap car right there is going to stay to the high side. Here comes Jacob Lucas. He's got a lap car between he and Caleb Martin. He's looking in turn 3 on the bottom, and he's going to stay on the bottom out of turn 4, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jacob Lucas. So here we go. Green is up, ladies and gentlemen. Richardson in the 23 goes way sideways, and we're going to stack the field up. Complete restart. In turn 1 was the caution. We're going to give them another chance. Door to door, we stay stacked up going into turns 1 and 2. Here comes the 27 of Michael Brown. And Lewis Schneider in the 21 with a little touch on the 23 of Richardson in 3 and 4. Schneider in the 21 out front. Door to door right now with the 91R. They are pushing all over each other on the exit of turn 4. Lewis Schneider, side by side. Here we are on the front stretch. Schneider rubbing all over the 91 machine of John Richardson yet again. Here comes the 27 of Michael Brown to the inside. And now the 91 of Richardson drives up to the inside of Lewis Schneider. And there was an opportunity, but squandered. Lewis Schneider on the gas, leading him out of turn 4. Michael Brown in the 27 looking to the inside of Schneider. In turns 1 and 2, they're going to go door to door on the exit of turn 2 down the backstretch. Brown to the bottom, pushing out on the rear end is going to be the 21 of Lewis Schneider. A little loose on the exit, makes it easy for Brown to get the drive out of the corner. Can he do it on this one? But here comes the 35 of Tim Boudreau. And there goes the 21 of Schneider. You can see there it was pushed out, tagged to the wall, and it allows, here's Tim Boudreau going around, and one guy loses a wheel. We're going to face down, stack them up tight, left and right. Here we are in a turn for green flag racing. Lewis Snyder looking to the inside of Jeremy Richardson in the 23S. Inside of Joe Richardson. And now Jeremy Richardson to the inside of Lewis Schneider in the 21 through turns 1 and 2. Schneider loses a little bit of pace. Here comes Joe Richardson as well. Tim Boudreau hiking that left front up. It may look cool, but is it fast? And whoa, mistake by the 21S. Excuse me, not 21S. 21 of Mr. Lewis Schneider. Here we go. Joe Richardson in the 91R looks to the bottom. Jeremy Richardson stubs up the whole field. Joe Richardson and Tim Boudreau quick to find a new way around. Jeremy brings out the caution. Tim Boudreau side by side with Joe Richardson. My mistake, John Richardson, not Joe. John Richardson in the 91R holding on. Here comes Tim Boudreau. Mistake by the 21 of Lewis Schneider. Lights around Michael Brown, sets him loose early in turns 3 and 4. Doesn't make him wait. Catches him off guard. Only he and Tim Boudreau are paying attention. Jeremy and John Richardson side by side, father and son for the third place spot. Jeremy gets the spot from his dad, John. Car hooked up. Christopher Townsend mentioned it in Victory Lane that the bottom is stupid fast, and we are seeing that here with a lead and the change of it. Michael Brown gives it up to Tim Boudreau. And Lewis Snyder in the 21 around in turns 1 and 2 for the third time. Tim Boudreau is going to set him loose between turns 3 and 4. Starts him on the entrance. Jeremy Richardson pushing Michael Brown down the front stretch. Let's see if Richardson's car is going to come in late in this one. Jeremy Richardson swinging door, holding up John Richardson. Here comes the 747 of Robbie Absher. Army man fights his way into the third place spot. The Richardson crew is going to battle at it as they try to work their way up. Now we got a three-way battle for the lead. Up top, Robbie Absher makes a mistake. Didn't know where that one was going to go. John Richardson gets by Jeremy Richardson to the inside of Absher. 2 laps to go for Mr. Tim Boudreau out front. Boudreau moving up, trying a different racing groove as the white flag waves with 1 more lap and 4 more turns. Carrying that left front tire almost all the way down the backstretch. Out of turn 4, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tim Boudreau. Sets the pace, and the green is set loose by our flagman. And we've got ourselves a nice little train on the outside road trying to work their way through. Jeff Castile, caution flag comes out. Ryan Roberts, here we are once again with the pole. Vanderpool working past the 6X down the front stretch. That's Kyle Berry. And Alasko trying to work past Vanderpool and Castile. Vanderpool gathers it back up, drops to the back, and going to work his way up. Kenny Berry, Jeff Castile, and here comes the 41 of Puddin Alasko. Alasko trying to work his way past Berry, side by side out of 4. Jeff Castile in the 30 gets his hand back into the mix as we are cross flags halfway home. Alasko with a good run on a turn 2. Carries the speed but hits the brakes side by side with Castile. Hits the brakes, try to thread him 3 wide on a turn 4. He's going to get past Castile, pushing the 43 down the front stretch. Kenny Berry. And there's it 3 wide for a second. Dylan Puddin Alasko trying to work his way up. 2 laps to go to try to get in this second place spot. That AARE power plant doing work, but the brakes are having to help him out with traffic. And now side by side with Kenny Berry once again as the white flag waves for Ryan Roberts. Alasko gets the spot, pushes up, gives it away. Into turn 3 and 4 is your leader, Ryan Roberts, out of 4, taking the checkered flag. Side by side once again, Dylan Alasko and Berry. Berry and Alasko touch doors, and it's going to be a stalemate here. Castile comes onto the checkered flag. Low and slow pace. Everybody stays doubled up nice and tight. Good start all the way to the exit. Kenny Berry.
We have not ran the 600 micro.
Kenny Berry to the outside of Dylan Alasko. Alasko works his way up to the 3rd place spot. Jeff Castile giving Ryan Roberts a run for the money. Castile right there. Here comes Dylan Puddin Alasko, working his way up from the back, battling for that 2nd place spot, looking to the 30th, Jeff Castile. Alasko on the back bumper of Castile going into 1 and 2. Dylan makes a mistake. Gets crossed up, loses a lot of ground. And here comes Paul Vanderpool trying to work past Kenny Berry. Vanderpool had a rough heat race. Couldn't get anything going for him. Now looking for the 4th place spot to the inside down the backstretch of Kenny Berry. Vanderpool has the advantage on the exit. Can he hold the line? Kenny Berry gets a great run of momentum off the top of turn 4. Once again, door to door now in turns 1 and 2. Mistake by Berry. Advantage Vanderpool. Now we're going to move up to a battle for the second place spot. We got them going throughout the field. Dylan Alasko reeled in Jeff Castile once again. Alasko looking to the inside of Castile through turns 1 and 2, and there goes Puddin' Alasko to the second place spot. Out front, though, Mr. Ryan Roberts, the Fantasy Fireworks machine is flying like a rocket, and those 41 shocks keeping him hooked up and digging with 2 laps to go. White flag waving for Mr. Ryan Roberts in the 2R. Roberts down the backstretch. Coming out of turn 4, put it together for the 2R, Mr. Ryan Roberts.